hello. How are we doing? It is time that drums were hit. Let me just make sure everything's working, because I'm taking a guess that it is. I think it is. It is! Ah! I hadn't checked all of that before I hit go, which is risky, but it worked. Right. Oh man, there's loads to cover. There's always loads to cover. I'll give it a week, and there's like flipping loads of things that I've done. I went out last week at the end of the stream, had a nice party. It was lovely. I've released a book this week. I've done other things this week. I'm going to get us started with some TesseracT, because that seems like a good idea. Hello, Will. Hello, Leo. Thank you for being maybe the only two people that are here. I love you. Let's play some music to get going. How do I feel about that tour with Carnival and Carbon? I feel like it's going to be amazing. I feel like drum kit logistics in Australia are a huge pain in my ass. I feel like it's going to be a really long flight. I feel like chicken tonight. Hello, Fen. Hello, Dan. What are you guys saying? Book dance. The song, my friend, JB Drums, Concealing Fate Part 1 by TesseracT. And I'm practicing it because we're about to go on tour. You know what, Will? It's almost the song that's on Borderlands. This one actually isn't. It's Concealing Fate Part 2. What's that noise in the background? My hi-hats just keep randomly triggering. What are you triggering for? Hear that? Poltergeist hats. I don't know what's triggering them. I'm going to disconnect them and then connect them again. Freaks. They're still doing it. This makes no sense. Guys. Oh, it's that one. Now it makes sense. Oh. What on earth is going on? I thought it was the fan. It's not the fan. It's not. I mean, it's got to be a cable, hasn't it? Oh, come on. I was really hoping to not have a tech issue stream. I'm going to just plug things out and back in a little bit. I don't know which one's going to be which. It's not that. It's that. Oh. Oh. If in doubt, unplug it and then plug it back in. Oh my god. I thought I was going crazy. I thought there was something in the background of the TesseracT thing that I wasn't used to hearing, but that isn't what it was. Yeah, the solution, guys, take the cable out, put it back in. I'm glad I was able to fix that real time and not spend the next 20 minutes farting around. Am I using my e-kit live? No, I'm not. This stays at home. It's my practice kit. It's a very nice practice kit, obviously, but I'm not trying to use this live. I like using acoustic drums live. There's just like, this is a very, very good kit. The things I can do at home with this are just incredible, but I'm just more comfortable on an acoustic kit live, frankly. There's two different uses for these things in my world. I can see the use for something like this live, just not with TesseracT, not in my world. Anyway, shall I go back to playing drums? I think I probably should. Let's do it. Will was saying that this song was featured in Borderlands 3, which was almost true, and then I noticed the poltergeist in my hi-hat. Borderlands 3, look it up, there's a legendary gun, there's a shotgun that's called Speed Loading Hellwalker or something like that, and the legendary text that was on it was "So my demons, your time has come," which is a TesseracT reference because there was a fan that worked for whoever makes Borderlands, I can't remember the company, and they put that in as the text for the legendary weapon, which I found incredibly cool. I was so flipping pleased about that. I think about that and it still makes me smile. Yeah, that's so good. Gearbox, thanks very much. Borderlands 4 though, I got it and I haven't played it very much. I didn't fully get into it like I did the other Borderlands games. Don't know why. Anyway, tell me why I didn't get into it, guys, in the chat. That's good. Why didn't Jay play Borderlands 4 very much? Who knows? Oops, when I make a mistake, I'm going back and fixing it because I don't want to make that mistake live. I went back too far. we go. Couple of songs there. So I'm treating this as practice because we've got a bunch of shows coming up. We're playing festivals. I can't remember which ones. Rock im Park, Rock am Ring in Germany, something in the Netherlands, some other ones. I'm useless at knowing where I'm going, but I do know that in June I won't be here. I'm going to be in Europe doing things, which is kind of exciting. I've got some session work I'm doing for a friend, going back to Middle Farm and doing that. What else am I doing? I'm going to see my parents a little bit. I'm going to, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be on a bus. I'm going to be farting around. It's going to be fun though. Can I play one of these songs? Singularity, Exile, Eden, Messengers, or Utopia? Not right now, but maybe at the end. We've got, I'm playing like the set that we're going to be doing. Rather than taking requests right now, just because I've got to do the set, and I may as well combine practice with a live stream for you guys so that we can hang out, we can get to know each other, we can decide if we want to take things to the next level, do you know what I mean? And this is a good way of doing that. I tick multiple boxes. Also, it engages my brain, honestly. I spend most of my time making and editing drum lessons and replying to people on my computer, and that most of that is a one-way conversation, whereas this is, I'm not talking in real life. I suppose we are. We're not really. It's not like I can hear you. But you know what I mean. I get to engage my brain a little bit more deeply. Guys, before we go way far, look at this. A book. It's a book. It's got pages and everything. It's very nice. This week, a physical copy of my book came out. It's called A Practical Guide to Modern Drumming. You can get it at shop.jpostones.com, and it's 102 pages of all kinds of goodness. We've got notation, we've got QR codes, we've got lesson breakdowns. Basically, we've got 9 drum lessons, right? The first one is getting you into a really good practice routine. Then we go through single strokes, double strokes, single kick and double kick techniques, and then patterns that are 3s, patterns that are 4s, patterns that are quiet hi-hat, patterns that are 5s. There's descriptions of what to do in each exercise and what to focus on, and then there is the notation for all the exercises. And as if that wasn't enough, there's videos for all of it on jpostones.com. Yes, there is. And it's called the same thing on there, A Practical Guide to Modern Drumming. You can get this as an ebook for free. The link is in the description of this stream because I was organised this time. On that link, there's also, you can click to get the book. So if you want a physical copy of it, because it's spiral bound and it will go on your flipping drum thing, you know, people that read music and they have it next to them, it will go on one of them and it will stay open and it will stay nice. And I'm pleased to have a book. I've wanted a book forever, and this was quite a lot of work. It's taken, it was a long time to put the course material together, and then I've kind of turned that course material into this book. And there's obviously quite a bit more in here because I've just written a bunch of stuff as well. But go and check it out. It doesn't cost you anything to get the ebook. It's free. It does cost you a bit of money to get this physical one because it costs me money to get them. But go and check it out. Shop.jpostones.com if you're in the market for something by me that was written by my brain and hands. So own drumsticks and book. Yeah, I've got my own flipping drumsticks. Tell you what else is coming next. I'm doing some. You may have seen me do these on tour before. I do these custom drum heads. I kind of paint and draw all over drum heads, and I'm going to put a couple of framed ones up on the store that I put the book on. So I've got a frame arriving that I'm going to test out. If it looks good, I'll post it in Discord, see if anyone likes it. If it's a terrible idea, then it's a terrible idea. But I think it's a good idea. People have bought drum heads from me a million times before, and I always feel like, I want to present this nicer. And you see this thing on the wall here? My wife found this company that makes like frames for strange objects like these. Drumsticks in a frame. As someone said on the last stream, are these the break glass in case of emergency drumsticks? Yes, they are, but I prefer not to break the lovely frame. But anyway, we've got a frame arriving for this drum head, and I'll show you guys in the week when it arrives. Anyway, I can't remember what I was talking about a moment ago. Book, check out the book. Let's go. Let's play some more music. Get some questions in the chat as well. When am I coming to Brazil next? I don't know. I do know when we're going to other places in the world, kind of. There's rough timelines for things. I don't know when the next trip to that part of the world is, but it will be with new music. So, you know, keep your ears on the internet, because there'll be new music fairly soon.
20 seconds.
Dan, your wife says the drum head frame best be round.
10 seconds.
It's not round, it's square. It's square like my drums. Oh, I like playing that. It's so much fun. Richard Red. Yes, I'm listening to the metronome. I've got it turned down for you guys. Metronome is here. Beep, 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 boop, beep, 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 boop, boop. But you don't need to hear that. Quick questions. Let me just stop this bullshit. Hang on. There we go. Am I routing it through Cubase control room feature or through my Scarlett? I'm routing it through my Scarlett. I find it easier to do it that way, and for some reason when I've tried to do it all through Cubase it kind of shits the bed. So for anyone interested in that world, I'm sending, I'll show you real quick. So all I'm doing here, I've just done a big audio output of the set, like the instrumental music from the set, and then another one which is the clicks. And then in Cubase I have two things. I've got stereo out going to 1 and 2, and then click going to 5 and 6, because 3 and 4 goes to my butt kicker. I've got like a seat thumper thing, so I don't want the click going into my bum. So I've got 1 and 2 audio, 5 and 6 click, 3 and 4 butt, and then in Focusrite I've got mix A, which is what I hear. So I've got audio over here, music, drums 3 and 4, playback 5 and 6, and then you guys, mix C, are getting audio and drums. Are the drums, is the audio and stuff okay for you guys, or would you say the drums are a little loud? Like if I can switch over to what you guys are hearing. It seems like everything might be a reasonable. Let me just hear real quick. That seems okay. I'll turn the drums down a little bit because they were sitting quite a bit above the music. But yeah, just shout up if you need me to switch it back to what it was. But that's basically the setup I got going, and it then enables me to send me the metronome and not you guys, because you don't need to hear the metronome. So yeah, interesting it's a metronome track rather than the DAW metronome. Yeah, I mean, it's because I haven't got the full project open here. All I've done is export, because in the full project there's like a million channels and a million things, and that's taking up a processing power that I don't need to do. So all I did was export what I wanted, and I rendered the click for the whole thing, and then I just dragged that into another project. It means that it's not synced to the grid in Cubase. All I'm using Cubase for in this instance is like outputs. But it takes the strain off of like running all of that plus super quick drums in real time for streaming and stuff. I just didn't want to run the risk. It probably would be fine, but there we go. Am I going to play War of Being in its entirety? I'm going to play the song War of Being in its entirety, but that comes at the end of the stream because it's at the end of the set. So yeah, there we go. But hopefully that answers some questions. If you got any more questions like that kind of stuff, guys, get them in chat. I'm happy to answer. My setup is fairly straightforward, but also I've been doing it for a long time, so maybe it's also complex for a lot of people. I don't know. Here we go. Dan, how are the goats? They're all right. I just had to look outside. They're fine. It's a bit of a rainy day here and they hate the rain, so yeah, that's how the goats are. Gutted you aren't playing with Carnival in England. Saw them the other day and they were brilliant. Yeah, we did a tour with them a long time ago in England and that was fun. Moss and Ackle were at the London show and I had a message, I think I said this on stream last week. I had a message from Moss and he was like, it's not fun being in Tesseract at a Carnival show because people stop you every 3 seconds. So I was kind of glad I wasn't there. But yeah, it's going to be a good tour. It's going to be a lot of fun. Dan, no, I'm not intentionally playing them off to the side. I'm sometimes, I think what it is because I haven't got like, okay, it does sound different on this kit. I was going to say it doesn't sound different. but it doesn't sound as different as on an acoustic kit. Okay, you've got like the sensors on these kits, but when I get to the edge of this, it kind of just sounds like a quieter ghost note instead of it being kind of ringy and airy, which is what it would be on a acoustic kit. Right? I could probably set it up so that it does that, but I haven't done that for whatever reason. On this kit, it doesn't correct me as much. On an acoustic kit, I'm playing a lot more in the middle, or at least I'm trying to, because as soon as I go off to the side, I can hear that kind of weird, airy, ringy snare sound that I don't really want. So on an acoustic kit, I will correct myself. On this kit, I can be a little bit sloppier, let's say. I put out a video today that I really enjoyed, and I watched the video back and I'm like, oh yeah, if I hit the tom there in real life, well, right now it's clicking, but to the edge, it would play a slightly different sound to what it actually does in real life. And some of the hits, I'm like, oh, it wouldn't sound like that in real life. I thought I'd fixed that last week. Let me just fix this real quick, guys. This is silly. Where do I go? I took the clicks off, and now they've come back for some weird reason. So if I do that, rim only, goodbye. I don't want you in my life. And I go rim shot, learn. There we go, and then I'll do the same there, rim only, go away. Rim shot, learn, hit my tom. There we go. Oh, you guys couldn't see what I was doing, sorry. Don't want that either. I want this tom as an electric drum, but I don't have it. That one, this sounds flipping lovely there, doesn't it? Clear, all, rim shot, learn, hit the rim of the drum. There we go, beautiful. All right, everything's working. Let me save this thing. And also, tell you what I did this week. I was playing around with this. Let's just exit out of here. Mixer, right. Turn the room up because room is good. Turn the reverb up a little bit because reverb is good. Turn the overheads up. Oh gosh. Massive. It's flipping ridiculous. I think I'm going to leave it there. If it's too much, that's your problem. If it's not enough, that's also your problem. Oh, flipping, love how that sounds. It's such a nice sounding kit. Yeah, guys, go and check it out. ToonTrack and me did this thing, and we released it last year. It's called the Infinity Grid EasyX. It's my literal drum kit as a digital kit, and it's just ridiculous. Anyway, let's play some more TesseracT. Where do I go? There I go. Oh, I think I just realised the new fill. That was fun. That happens sometimes. Like, you hear something in your brain and you have the bravery to go there. And sometimes it works, and other times it doesn't work. Ah, there we go. The extra stick click. Yeah, those stick clicks, so that's from me exporting the full audio in Cubase. Those are to remind the guitarists which version of the riff they're playing, because there's a couple of, it's like it's bringing it back around. It's like, oh, okay, it's this one. Oh, okay, it's this one. Mainly used for rehearsing when we first started playing the outro, but it's just been left in there. If it was taken out, it would be fine. But for shows where you're particularly tired, having some of those moments in can help. Like when you're firing on all cylinders, it's fine, you don't need it. When you are a little bit tired from touring, having those things in is helpful. It doesn't help me having that in there. I'm hearing clicks at a point where it doesn't make any difference to me, but yeah, those are in there for the guitarists. They wouldn't probably be on my cue channel live. So we have different cues as well. Like Dan will have some audio cues, note cues and things like that. So when there's a note that we've got to hit going into a song, it's not always obvious on stage because it's just. So we'll have a in his ear, and he knows that's the note that he's got to hit live. I'll have count-ins, and there's one bit in Sacrifice, for example, where I'm playing a stupid groove, and I have the album audio, because if the guys go off and make a mistake, I can't recover. I can't hear something else and play that groove, like listening to what it should be in my head with them playing something wrong. And it's happened, like in rehearsal, they started playing something. I'm like, nope, that's not it. You've just got to give me the album audio. So we did that. It's just whatever works for you live. You know, sometimes you've got to just hear whatever you need to hear to play the thing as it is in your mind. The weird thing with Tesseract is that I think we come together really well as a band, and there are moments where we play off each other and have fun. But for the most part, I mean, I'm just off in my own world. I'm just playing my thing, and I think the stuff isn't like insanely complex. Like there are bands playing more complex technical music out there for sure. And we're kind of on that, there's kind of a bridge between that world of complexity and slightly more accessible rocky based stuff. I think is kind of where we land, where some of it is vibes and some of it is just like, what are they doing? And when it's the what are they doing stuff, that's when we need to just like lock in and be in our own world. When it's the rocky stuff, then we can kind of look around the stage and smile at each other, and Amos will come and stand up next to my cymbals and pretend we're having a conversation, and we occasionally touch each other a little bit. You'll spot this at shows. I'll look at him and I'll go like this. I'll put my arm out and put my finger out, and we do like an ET thing. We just like touch each other's fingertips. We do that sometimes. Such a stupid little thing to do, but it's a moment of like fun and stupidness in the set. And if you're at the right show, don't do it at every show, but if you're at the right show at the right moment, you'll see it happen. Like I turned around at one show and he just had his hand on my shoulder. I was like, who the fuck's touching me? And I looked around and he's there, and he was just like smiling. And I think he must have realised that it was like a good show. He was having a good time. There's a photo of that, in fact. And then I put my arm up on his, and then I realised, oh God, we're both sweaty. I've got to hold the drumstick, and now I've got a disgustingly sweaty hand. Mistake. A mistake was made. But no, it's fun. More music. This is another song. I don't know which one it is. It's King. Luna, you just got to the outro section of the Nocturne course. Yeah, mate, flipping right. I'm so pleased you're working through that one. You have to put a video in Discord of where you're up to. Yeah, Dan, the left-hand stuff at the start of this one. There's a lot going on, and it's mainly because I want to keep the right hand doing the 1, 2, 3, 4, and bringing my right hand over, it doesn't really work. I can do right to there, I can do that, but I like to keep it in this part of the world. It did require a bit of work to get it going. Like, there's a flow to it all, and a very specific pattern that I have to try and lock in. That isn't the outro, that was silly. Okay, I remembered it. B. Tanner. Is it Brian? I think it might be. Hello. Mate, you're very welcome. Yeah, guys, this week I put out a... this is really loud, sorry, let me just shut that off a minute. I put out a blog post. That's something else I did this week. I wrote. Go and check it out. My Substack is the social media of my... It's the one I prefer. I saw someone say something that was so flipping true. Like, 15 minutes on Substack and you feel like you've made new friends and you feel uplifted. 15 minutes on Instagram and you feel like you've had your head down a toilet. Like, that, I was paraphrasing there, but that's my version of it. So true. Oh my God. It feels like I've basically just expedited diabetes. I've eaten 70 million cubes of sugar on Instagram versus Substack is like uplifting and lovely. So I'm on Substack and I write. There's no real schedule to when I write, but I just sit down some mornings and I write about the things that go around my brain. And this week it was about making progress rather than trying to imagine the thing that you're working on being perfect, because that's a great way to stop you from starting. So go and have a look if you like it. Guys, I just need to stand up from my kit a moment because I've got a nice lamp on top of my speaker over there and it's on the verge of falling off because I've been kick drumming. So give me 2 seconds. I'm going to play you some nice music and play you some slides for a second. Nope, that's the wrong one. Where's my slides? There they are. Look at that. Just give me 2 secs. I'm back. Come on, out of that. There we go. All right, stopped it. Yeah, that would have been rubbish. I just see my flipping nice lamp falling off the flipping top of the thing. Yeah, anyone wondering what that was? That was the latest integration groove. I can't talk sometimes. Anyone else's mouth get in the way of the words they want to say? Mine does it all the time. I go to say something and then I do that. It's a thing. Integration exercise on my website in my masterclass. That's the music from it, written by wonderful Mr. Morris, who's in the Discord all the time. I don't know if he's in chat today. Yeah, masterclass students, you'll hopefully know that it's already out because I posted in Discord and I put it in the email that went out earlier. I'll also send an email out just in case, just to masterclass students especially, in case you didn't see it. But it's flipping lovely sounding, and there's a little clip of me playing along to it on Instagram that I put out and on YouTube. Luke, you think of 2 things to say at once and you try to say them both at once. That's a skill. Imagine if you could say them both at the same time. That'd be amazing. E.G. Balk, you're one of the most humble, inspiring, talented drummers I've ever listened to. Oh, thank you very much. That's very kind. Your creativity, precision, and emotion behind Kit are on another level. Mate, that's very kind of you to say. I appreciate you. I'm going to play some new music. Not new music. That was a lie. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to play some old music. But it's going to be music, and hopefully it's going to be nice. Let's carry on where we were. I think the next song is going to be Smile, maybe? There we go. All right, here we go. That's not how it goes. I just went completely out of time. Oh, let's do that bit again. ETA on when new music is coming. You know what? No. We've recorded some new stuff. I don't know exactly when it's coming out. I know it's not that long. Like, it should be soon. Exactly how soon, I couldn't say. Because I don't know. And I'm not just saying that. I don't actually know a date. Just trying to think if I can play a groove from the new stuff. I've got to like bring it to mind. Crikey. Man, I'm trying to remember the groove. And there's a silly groove in the song. Let me see if I can remember it. Ah, crikey! Hang on. Oh Christ, I need you can tell it's new because I can't play it. The stacks are like displaced from the kick. Ah! It's the second half of it that I've forgotten. I need to practice it. I also haven't played it like more than a couple of times. What else have we got that's fun? We've got more new stuff. There's stuff coming. It's flipping crazy. It's going to be fun. Yeah, what else are we saying? Arcade asked, read, I can't say a name, hello. You're starting struck. I'm pleased for you. Starstruck. Well, that's nice. Don't know if I'm a star. Is that an anti-cheat beat? Oh God, it's ridiculous. It's one of those things that's programmed in first and sounds awesome, so you've got to get it like spot on. But I can't quite get it spot on yet. Well, I can actually. I played it on when we were recording it. I haven't got the music, so it's difficult. You're obsessed with the triple muted China. Oh yeah, that one. So That one's a flipping banger. That is a flipping banger. Yeah, it's such a good song. Oh my gosh. There's that one. There's one that was a bit of a surprise. Yeah. Has Dan been playing anything on his stream? I don't know if he's just been playing stuff and like writing to it on his streams. I've got no idea. BW Clay, you asked something a moment ago. Well, something about my in-ears. I'm using 64 audios. These are the A12Ts that I'm using. Yeah, I've had them for a while. They're really good. I like them. They fit my ears and they sound awesome. I'm getting a backup pair for the like just touring, because I had one of these started to I just got these back from being fixed because the right in-ear was like losing high frequency stuff, and I sent them in for a service and they said like get a backup pair. I'm like, yes, that is a smart idea. So I've got a backup pair. I'm doing the A6T as the backup pair though, because really I need something that's like good that I hope to never have to use, right? So your ears, like when you do the molds for these things, they're supposed to like change every 5 years or so, and I'm like 2 years into using these maybe, so I didn't want to spend like quite that much money on another pair of in-ears that I might not use for that amount of time, so I got the slightly less expensive ones, but I'm looking forward to them. Rod Cool, hi Jay from Rodrigo and Mikkel in Brazil. Hello my friends, hope you're having a good time in Brazil. Arc Access, new stuff is coming. Yes, new stuff is coming. We got 3 tracks that we recorded last month. Well, technically I did drums for 5 tracks, but there's 3 tracks that are coming about. Yeah, Rod B Drums, hey Jay, Roland versus F Note in same setup for you, your thoughts? I don't know what F Note is, so it might be another drum company or some software or something. I don't know. I don't have thoughts. My thoughts are I'm confused because I don't know what F Note is. But I like my Rolands, if that's the question. Yeah, this is kind of a hybrid of. I explain this a little bit on each stream because people ask me different questions about it. So this kit isn't just a kit that you get off the shelf. This is a kind of a made kit. It's mostly a Roland VAD, 516, right? So VAD 516, dig, 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 and then a couple of the cymbals. But there wasn't enough inputs on the module, the V51 module, so I got the V71 module. And then I've got this tom from my TD50, which was my last kit, and a couple of the cymbals left over from the TD50 as well, and I've got this big, giant drum kit now, which is close to the size of my actual kit. Splash cymbal, yeah, in real life I've got a splash cymbal there, and I'll put it on the rim of this tom just because it's fine to do that. To be honest though, I don't really want a splash cymbal there, because this is when I'm presenting my lessons and streams, this is where I'm talking, this is where I'm doing my thing. It's something in the middle there just kind of breaks it up a little bit, so I don't really want that. So yeah, the last 3 albums are perfect. Every song has meaning. That's very cool. We do have a very high standard for ourselves. I spoke a little bit about that this week. So I was saying a moment ago, I have this blog, this Substack. Just search Jay Postones on Substack and you'll find it. And for me, it's about progress, not perfection. But what actually ends up happening before I go into the studio to record new stuff, especially for TesseracT, is I punish myself because I feel as though I can't get enough practice in to be this impossible version of perfect. The quality of the demos that we get in TesseracT is so high, and the baseline, not as in the baseline, but as in the bar that I have to reach to be good enough at this thing to go into the studio to record it is like, in my mind, ridiculous. It's so high, and it's because we do it to ourselves. We make this stuff, and we've got very high standards for the band. So I always feel like I didn't practice enough. I could do one more practice, and I not only want to do what we've planned to do in the studio, but if I don't do one more thing because we're in the studio, then it's like a competition with myself, right? Oh God, it's crazy. So the last time we were in the studio the other month, we were there for a week, or just under a week, like 6 days. The goal was definitely get 2 songs tracked. All right, so I got 5 songs tracked. 3 of them are like good to go. 2 of them I think we'll probably end up re-recording because I don't think the songs are fully there yet. But yeah, there's always this feeling of, I could have another practice, I could get it a step closer to being better. And really, there's only so far you can take that before you just you're just punishing yourself. Because all it is, like music when you're recording it, or art when you're presenting it, whatever it is, it's just, this is what I can do now, right? And as long as you've just been, if you've been practicing, and if you've been working on your stuff, it's going to be an evolution of whatever you've done before. Always going to be completely different, but your skills at least will have transcended from where they were to where you're going. Unless you stagnate and you don't practice, and then you're probably not adding anything to it. But if you're practicing and getting better, then there should be something about the music that is different and interesting, and an improvement, let's say, on what you could do last time. That's all I want TesseracT to be. And I think we started it from with a very high level of quality. Like, we wanted it to be this high quality thing that we're putting out, and we just keep growing on that. But at this point, it's like, what the bloody hell do we do to improve it next time? Because whenever we're recording these things, we're like, oh my God, this is the best thing we've ever done. We have to feel like that, because if you didn't, when I don't, okay, I'm going to change that. When I don't feel like that, I'm very vocal about it. Because there are some things that when we're in the studio, I'm like, no, that's not good enough. No. And it's just like, it just gets cut. I have to be like that, because I've got to hear this and I've got to present it to the world. And if I don't feel like it's the best bloody thing ever, then I'm not putting my name on it. So yeah, I wrote about that. That was me going off on a flipping tangent about it. But go and check out the Substack. Yeah, you can, and I'll put it in the email that went out today as well, in case you guys missed it when I posted it on Substack. And it's on my Instagram. You can get it all over the place. Velocity curve tweaks for Roland to work well with your tune track kit. It's all subjective for Contraria. Velocity curves, all you're doing with that, if anyone's interested, let me show you. Velocity curves. Velocity curves, an exciting topic to show on a stream for maybe 3 people who know what they are. A velocity curve. Let me find one. Velocity curve. It's more of a straight line. So I haven't even done anything to these ones. Yeah, I've barely touched it. That tom's got a bit of one. So I haven't really dialed it in. But the idea is, you get it sounding and feeling good on your, just on the kit, and then if you want it to sound and feel a bit more human, you can play with these lines and make lovely shapes with them, so that the response is closer to what it would be, what you feel like it would be when you're behind an acoustic kit. That's the idea of those lines. You can also get very close to it just with the sensitivity settings in the Roland Brain, and then my superior, Easy Drummer interprets that, and it's very close, so I haven't really have to mess with it too much. So yeah, velocity curve tweaks, not so much. El Gordo, long album J. Don't know, we haven't recorded everything yet. We're doing it in chunks. So you guys are going to get music in chunks rather than all of the album at the same time. So, yeah, music is happening. We've recorded some of it. How long it will be? I don't know. That long. Probably. I reckon that long. One of those lengths. When you guys write, do you aim to write for an album or do you try and serve the song? Write for a concert experience. We literally just write like whatever is vibey. It's literally just whatever's vibing. There's no consideration to how this fits on an album, whether it's a single. It's just, it goes where it goes. We write it for us. It feels a certain way. We enjoy it. We follow the things we're most interested in. We pay, honestly, zero attention to what anyone else is doing. We're so just entrenched in TesseracT. There's not, I've got no idea what anyone else is doing. I'm just playing my thing. I listen to what Ackle sends over and I play along to that, and we get it as good as we can, then we go and record it. There's the idea of the album coming around and being a presentable thing. You know, if we're releasing music in chunks rather than an album, for the album it might all get split up and rearranged because it makes sense in a different order. So, you know, the presentation of the music comes afterwards because you can't possibly know what's going to work as a flow until you've got the library of everything and you can listen to it and go, okay, well that goes there, because listen to the end of that, it goes up or it goes down. It's just vibes. So that's it really. And then the concert experience, we cherry pick the songs that we get a good feedback from the most audiences. So the set now is like a really good collection of songs. Again, vibes. Like we just get good vibes when we play it. The audience seems to respond well. There isn't like a dip in energy. We've got a couple of lighter songs in there, but they're like, there's kind of an emotion to them that still carries. So the energy in the room doesn't seem to dip. We tried not to have like any complete silence, because we found that when we just had complete silence and we kind of like just standing on stage, it's a little bit like a couple of plums on stage not doing anything. So yeah, it's all really like dialed in at this point. We spend a lot, the Warabine campaign especially, we ramped everything up. We figured out like kind of some theatrics that work well on stage. Everything felt leveled up, especially by the end. It all kind of ramped up and we felt as though, yeah, this is a complete different level to when we started. We also started working with a different team who had bigger visions for us, so that was good. BW Clay, fall US tour. No, my friend. There are no US plans at the moment, if I'm being honest. The US has become untangible to play. It's too expensive to tour here. Everything's too expensive. The Live Nations and stuff have got a monopoly over the business. The visa costs are too much. Flights are too much. The hiring equipment over here is too much. We've got this just as a comparison. It's a shame, but we've got plans for just about everywhere else in the world, and we haven't got any plans for America because it's a broken place at the moment, which is a shame. So yeah, when it changes, we'll be back. But unless there is a significant tour support offer that comes in or something changes, I don't think there'll be TesseracT in America anytime soon. Yeah, but I mean, loads of bands weren't. You can look up. You need to be making a stupid amount of money for a US tour to be viable. Like TesseracT can do 2 or 3 European shows, European festival shows, and there'll be as much income from that activity, which takes a week or less than a week, as like 6 or 7 weeks in North America. So it's a real shame, because America's like, the idea of touring America as a band from Europe or anywhere else is like, that's where you want to go and do it, because that's romantically where bands break. But it's where bands go to get broke now, because it's just stupidly expensive. Enter Shikari had to cancel their tour. Yep. They can't fund Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's literally ridiculous. People would see bands in a bus and assume that they're making loads of money. They're not. Go and watch the podcast with Misha from Periphery and Nick Nocturnal. They put out a really good conversation a couple of weeks ago. And Misha's talking about this stuff. If you're in a band, you can't just do the band anymore. You've got to do all these different things. It's a constant thing, and the band will not be the thing that makes you money. Like, it just won't. We came to that realization quite a long time ago with TesseracT, when every time we went out, the people that were working for us were telling us, oh, don't worry guys, next time, this is an investment tour, don't worry guys, next time, every single time for 10 years. And it's just like, okay, so the cost of doing it goes up with the income that you get from it, and then what's left at the end is always about the same, regardless of how much money you make. Until a point, I think you can break the glass ceiling and smash through it. But really, we're doing it because we love it. We're doing it because we get to travel the world, go to some cool places. But there's also a financial side to this, and it doesn't make sense to spend 7 weeks in a place where you'll make as much money as you would in 3 days somewhere else. That's just how it is. So yeah, sorry all the Americans in here, but you could, go out and support small bands in small venues, because the small venues are the ones that are going to keep the scene alive, not the Live Nations and the ticket masters, the fuckers. They have got a vice around the neck of the industry, and they are squeezing everything out of it. Yeah, so that's what I've got to say. Now, more music. I'm in America right now, and I'm playing drums. So technically, TesseracT's in America right now. This is as close as we're going to get to an American tour for the foreseeable future. It's Legion, everyone.
All I can see is a wasteland of broken trees. Hills for miles. Where are you? I've tried to reach you. I've tried so many times. I've lost track of the days. It's so cold. It's so cold.
Buy my book. This is one of the best songs ever to play. Oh my god. Wowzers. Such a ridiculous one. Trying to change the velocity of the hi-hat a little bit, but I don't know how.
Choir. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
There we go. What are we saying? Top 3 songs to play live. Warbean, Juno. I don't know, man. I wish it was as easy as just saying it's these 3, but the reason we've chosen the ones to play live is that they're all just a vibe. So, yeah, I don't know. All of them. Rubbish answer, sorry. This one is Tourniquet. Yeah, that was a jam. This is going to be, oh bloody hell, it's Concealing Fate Part 2. My poor legs. Ricky Cat, why is Burden not a vibe? We have simply never played Burden as a band outside of the recording session for War of Being. We, for some reason, that one, it might not sound like the most complex, but it is the most vibey song on that album. And we've just not attempted it. We haven't been in a room together when we've not been on tour for a long enough time to decide whether that one is a good fit live. Simple as that. Kind of the same with Cages, yeah. Yeah. Noises. We need to talk about that hectic linear fill. We can. I've talked about this before. Do you want me to show you what it is? It's actually really easy, right? You do this. Ba 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 ba. That's the fill by itself, kind of rubbish. And you put kicks in between them. Now, how to put the kicks in between them? You start off there, getting comfortable, but you need to do it at a pace where you need to do it at that kind of pace, right? There's a pattern of all of the possible ways to play that. The way that clicked for me was right, left, left, right. Right hand, left foot, left hand, right foot. Da, 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 da. And what that does, when you get round to the end of that pattern, you have to do 2 kicks, right? So I have to do like a heel toe double stroke at the end of that fill to hit the 1 for the next groove. Listen very carefully. Yeah, for some reason, playing it that way round, right hand led, because that's my most dominant thing, because it's a bloody stupidly fast, complex thing to do, and then get used to dropping the left leg in there immediately after, and it's like, yeah, it's cool. It's really cool. I learned to do that purely because I thought it was sick, not because I thought there was a way for me to use it in TesseracT. And when we got to that bit of Juno, we'd started playing it live, I started to see a way to play a fast fill. In fact, after Portals, where Mike Mallion stepped in for me, he did some really fast fill at that bit of the song. And I don't know what he did. And I was like, man, but it did sound really sick with there being a fast fill there. So I looked at my library of things I could do, and I could like do that pattern. And I could have just done like a fast blup, 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 like 2 up, 4 up, 2 down situation. But like, I don't know, it felt done and done and done. So I didn't want to just do that. So I dropped that linear pattern in, and it took a bit of fiddling out, but I got there eventually. And yeah, I now play it fairly comfortably. Every now and then I'll go to play it live and it's just... But it's such a small thing that it's like, oh, okay, fine, I fucked it up, don't cry. But for the most part now, it's like, it's pretty comfortable, and I don't think about it too much before I do it on stage, and it's fun though. It is a sick moment. It's one of the rare moments in a TesseracT set where I get a little moment to just go like, okay, all right, drummer, everyone, drummer, shut up band, drummer. I get to do that for like a second or however long that fill is, 1.5 seconds. I got one more song, guys. Do you want to hear it? Royster, I agree, my friend. I forgot the flipping, the pattern, just the little fill. For some reason that was throwing me off. I guess we're gonna have to play all that sick bit again. Oh dear. Weird. Seagate with a sub, my friend, thank you very much. I hope you're doing well. Guys, if you want to buy me a coffee, there's a button right there.
Oil.
go with the flipping gift subs, mate. Thank you so much. 10 of them as well. Holy moly. Absolute kindness. Expanding the community over here. Yes. At one point in my life, one of the hardest things to play ever. And now something that flows quite neatly and nicely, and it's taken a long time to feel that comfortable. Guys, in this moment that we have, if you're a drummer and you're in the chat, I released a book this week. It's called A Practical Guide to Modern Drumming. You can go to shop.jpostones.com. It's 9 drum lessons, 70 exercises. There's some writing in there from me as well. It's beautiful. And all of the exercises on there, I've got videos on my website as well, so you can watch them if you're not sure how to do it. You can get the free ebook if you go to the link of this video. Click on the ebook, get that, and it'll send you a link to both, so you can, yeah, it ships worldwide. Nothing beats physical, I'd agree. There's something much nicer about holding this in my hand and reading it than reading it on my screen. It's the same as having a CD or a vinyl of a band that you love. It's a completely different thing when you've got the thing. Don't know what it is, maybe it's nostalgia, because there's obviously a generation of people that grew up now, that are growing up now that have got no experience of that, and you know. But yeah, go and check it out. The Practical Guide to Modern Drumming. There's a corresponding course on jpostones.com. You can access it all free for 7 days. It's the thing I spend most of my time working on. So if you're a drummer, you like anything about what you just saw, and you'd like to learn from me, go and check this out, and go and check out the website. And there's going to be more where this came from. I've got loads more ideas off the back of doing this, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed putting it together. It's just over 100 pages. of exercises and the things to look at when you're doing the exercises. And it's out now. It's been a digital book for a while, for a few months, but I got my act together and I spent a week or so getting it into the format that it needs to be in for print. It's all printed to order as well, so I set all that up the other day, and it prints like closest to in like a region close to you and ships there. So rather than it being made in the US and shipped all around the world, they print in the UK and they ship in the UK. They print in a couple of places in Europe and ship to a couple of places in Europe, or shipped like throughout Europe. Some places they haven't got like a shipping. They haven't got a place to print, so it's a little bit expensive. Like some places in South America, the shipping was like $40, and I'm like, okay, that's a lot. But yeah, it is pretty cool. And it means there's no crazy upfront cost for me to make, because I would have had to have printed like a couple of thousand books at least as like a minimum order to get the price to be anything reasonable for you guys, and that was just a ridiculous amount for me to try and pull together. So I'm teaching things that are from my world of drumming, which is niche. So I'm not expecting it to be a New York Times bestseller, but I think it might be something that drummers will find helpful. Guys, thank you so much. This has been a joy, as it always is, and I'll be doing another one definitely next Friday, probably in the week as well, because I've only got a couple of practices before I fly over to the UK. So if you're around, you want to hang out again, I'd love to see you. One last thing before I go is actually a couple of things. I started playing Subnautica 2. Anyone playing that? Oh my god, it's really good. It's a beautiful looking game. You're underwater and you've got to build a base and there's fish are everywhere and it's really nice. If you're playing that, you're going to have a good time. That was just a random thing that entered into my brain, so I'm going to probably play that this evening. Last thing is, if you are someone that wants to work with me for about 6 months, I am taking on my next masterclass intake is happening in August this year. We're a little way off from August, but I announce it a bit early so that people have got a chance to apply for it. It's not something that everyone can do. It's not something that everyone does do, but it's something that a small group of people do with me every 6 months or so. First week of August is when the next one kicks off. A couple of spaces, 3 of the spaces have already taken, and there's only 15 spaces. If you want to get involved in that, head to jpostones.com and click on the thing that says Masterclass, and it will zip you to the right place where you can apply. There's a couple of people that are in the chat who are doing the masterclass at the moment, and a couple that have done more than one masterclass, and I'm sure they'd be happy to talk to you in Discord if you wanted to ask about their experience or anything like that, or if you want to talk to me about it, you can also do that. But go and check that out. First week of August is kicking off. I'd love to have conversations with people that are interested in doing it, either before I go away or even while I'm away. I can hop. There you go, Fenn's one of them. I met Fenn at the UK Drum Show last year, and he's done a masterclass that started almost immediately after that, and then he hopped into the current masterclass as well, which is good for him. And he's now got a kit that looks kind of like this one, which is amazing. And he's got a good story for how he got the kit as well, which I don't know if I shared that. I've definitely told people in Discord, and you've definitely told people, but it's flipping brilliant. Right, guys, loads of love. I'll see you probably in the week, definitely on Friday, and have a nice weekend, whatever you're doing. Go and check out my book. I'll speak to you soon.